Hey everyone, my name is Elena Koch and I'm your professor for our class together, African American Literature. In this video, I want to introduce you to the class. This is the information I'd be giving you if we were meeting face to face. This is a lot of information, so be sure to pause if you need to stop and come back to it, okay? First of all, what is English 215? I'm sure you know by now that it's an African American literature course, but more specifically, it's a survey course, which means that it's designed to cover a lot of material, to introduce you to a lot of material over the course of the semester. So rather than focus only on one author, we're going to cover a lot of ground. And as you know, we're studying the work of African American authors. This is an online class, as you know. It's also an asynchronous class, meaning that there are no times when we're required to meet online together. There are no required Google Meets or Zoom classes or anything like that. However, if you're interested, we can have optional Google Meets where we have little book talks, talk about the reading and answer your questions. Okay. The reason that Prairie State kept this class as an online class this semester is because it was so successful last year. Students in this class tended to do well. The students who kept up with all the reading and put the time in did well in this class. It works well in an online environment. And I've taught it in an online environment too. So this will be a really effective, fun class to take online, I think. This is also a late start class. As you know, most classes at Prairie State started 2 weeks ago. So that means we have to cover the same amount of material even though we missed 2 weeks. So we have to cram 16 weeks worth into 14 weeks. You're going to especially feel that next week in week 2 when there's going to be a lot of reading. Okay, so let's talk. This slide is going to let me forward here. There we go. So why should we study African American literature? The answers to this question are many, and for some of us they're really personal, but there's no real wrong answer to this question. Some of you might be part of the African and African American Studies certificate program here at Prairie State. There are a number of classes we offer every semester that work toward this certificate. So that is something that you get along with your associate's degree. This class studies the unique contributions of Black authors to our literary and cultural traditions. So obviously, most of these authors are going to focus exclusively on Black culture, experiences, and viewpoints. And others will write about universal themes. In fact, the appeal of literature is often universal and cross-cultural. Of course, the power of literature itself, no matter who the authors are, we can gain a lot from reading literature, whether it's appreciating the artistic beauty of it, the cultural importance, the social or political messages that art conveys and literature conveys, or the escape that you get, just the pure fun, the entertainment that you get out of reading. All of these are good reasons to study African American literature. Now, you may have noticed that I, your professor, am white. So that might be surprising or odd, and I would understand why you might find it to be. So let me just emphasize that although I can't speak directly to the experiences of Black culture or experiences or viewpoints, I don't want to assume that all Black people share the same things, of course. And I'm also part of a larger American society, and all of American society is influenced by the impact of Black artists, including Black authors. So I come to this class with a deep respect for the contributions of this literature to our larger traditions. I can bring to this class my literary expertise as somebody with a PhD in American literature. And we all come to this class for different reasons, and I'm really looking forward to sharing a common admiration for the work of these Black authors and what they contribute. Okay, so let's take a look at this image. This is a deck of cards. You might notice this is from Ace to King. I was on a family vacation once and saw this deck of cards, Famous American Authors, I think it's called. And so I had to buy it. And behind the little video of me is the image of Ernest Hemingway, who is a white man with white hair and a white beard. He's looking very distinguished. So you might notice that we see a lot of white faces here, right? We see a lot of male faces. We have one woman in this deck, Willa Cather, And we have one Black author in this deck, James Baldwin. Every single one of the authors here is also dead, passed on. So what this deck of cards is capturing really is a white, dead male literary tradition. Now, I want to emphasize that the work of these authors is really important. Some of my favorite authors are in this deck. So this is not to diss these particular people for their literary contributions. However, what I do want to suggest is that obviously this doesn't tell the whole story of American literary tradition. And that's why we have a class like African American literature, to look at authors who are traditionally, until very recently, pushed aside, overlooked. We're going to talk more about that in the next video on the literary canon. So what we'll read this semester are 2 novels, parts of 2 slave narratives, 1 play, short stories, poetry, parts of essays, parts of a speech. We're going to read a lot of different genres, in other words, a lot of different types of literature. About 30 authors in total. So we're going to read a lot of great stuff. I want to talk to you now about what most weeks will look like in this semester, okay? You'll be doing about 10 to 14 hours of work each week. Now, let me tell you where that number came from. You probably have heard the formula that most college classes require about 2 or 3 hours of homework for every 1 hour of classroom time. So if you take that formula and think about the fact that there is no classroom time, and also that we've compressed 16 weeks into 14, that mathematically works out to about 10 to 14 hours a week. If you're a slower reader, if you're going for an A, if you find yourself wanting to read some of the extra stuff that I provide, you're going to be spending the higher end of that range, okay? This is lots of reading, obviously. It's a literature course. I find the reading to be well worth your time. I hope you enjoy that time, but definitely you should plan at the beginning of each week to spend a lot of time reading. Okay, I'll be providing reading guides to help you so that you know what kinds of things to focus on. And I'll be available to answer your questions. I'm also going to provide a couple, 1 or 2 short videos each week, like this one, 10 to 15 minutes long. They'll never be longer than 15 minutes, to go over some of the material I'd go over in a classroom. Don't skip these videos. These will be important, and sometimes that material will be on your weekly quizzes. Discussion posts will be a huge part of the class, the part that I'm most excited about, because that's where we're going to share our ideas. For me, the best part of every literature class is sitting in a classroom and sharing ideas, sharing what we learned, realizing that somebody noticed something completely different, and that way our understanding of the story or the poem or the book gets even better, right? So in an online class, that happens in our discussion posts. So I want you to plan to spend a lot of time reading what your classmates and I have to say so that you can enhance your own understanding, and also sharing your ideas. Each week we'll end with a short quiz. It's an open note quiz, so take notes. And these quizzes should be pretty easy if you've put in the work. My students last year, who read the discussion posts, watched the videos, and did the reading tended to do really well on these quizzes, okay? In addition, you'll have 2 writing assignments, either essays or annotated bibliographies. You'll have an option. And then in finals week, you'll have a take-home final exam. That says final assessment back there. All right, so what I recommend for this class is that you set up a routine. That's a great tip for all online classes when you have so much independent time to establish that. And what I'd like to see you do most weeks is do the vast bulk of the reading early in the week, okay? Read the weekly overview. Each week I'll post a summary of what you need to do. Read that, and then read the literature and try to get as much of it done as you can by Thursday morning, okay? Watch the videos as well. In the second half of the week, by Thursday at noon, you're going to post your main post in discussions. So by the time you get to that discussion post Thursday at noon, you should have most or all of the reading done, ideally all. And then you're going to read your classmates' posts and my posts too. By Saturday nights, you'll be replying to at least 2 classmates and taking a short quiz. Now, you could do both of these things on Friday nights if you want to have your weekends free. That's fine. The quizzes will always be available on Fridays, but I thought I would give the class through Saturday if they want that extra day. Okay, so let's talk about how to succeed. I've talked about some of this stuff already. I already mentioned making a routine. Also, in an online class, it's super important to communicate with your professor. So please, and also with each other. So please, in the introductions, get to know your classmates, get to know me. I can't wait to see you introduce yourself so I can get a sense of who you are too. And then don't hesitate to reach out to me via email. You can visit my office hours. I'll have in-person office hours and virtual ones. You can make an appointment if my office hours don't work. But I promise you that I answer emails within 24 hours, sometimes really much quicker than that. So I will be emailing you promptly when you have questions. Okay, except on the weekends, then it might take me 48 hours. Another thing to help to guarantee your success this semester is to use the resources that I post on D2L. I've already mentioned this. The videos and the reading guides will be a vital part of your class. Check in a few times a week to see those resources, and then obviously read a lot. Read slowly, read carefully, take notes, and take the discussion seriously. And then, of course, you'll need to demonstrate your knowledge of the material in your quizzes, your discussion posts, and the writing assignments. All right, let's talk about the fact that we're still in a pandemic. I think we all thought we'd be better by now, but we're still struggling along here. And so I want you to know that if any obstacles come up that are related to the pandemic, even if they're not related to the pandemic, that I don't want you to disappear. Okay, I want you to ask for help. I want you to stay in touch. If you need extra time on any assignments, all you need to do is ask before the deadline. Okay? If you don't ask for an extension and you don't complete the assignment, then you may not get credit for it, because we need to keep these deadlines moving. The deadlines are in place for good reasons. However, if once in a while you find that you need an extra day, or 2 or 3 if you've been sick, or if somebody you love has been sick, let me know. Ask in advance before the deadline, and I want to be flexible with you to the extent that's reasonable. Also, there's some cushion built in, because your lowest 2 quiz grades and your lowest 2 discussion grades will be dropped. So that means if you skip 1 or 2, they'll be dropped. If you do poorly on 1 or 2, they'll be dropped. You might want to be strategic in this. If you see that there's a big writing assignment due 1 week, that might be the week you decide not to take the quiz. Okay? Or if you find yourself super overwhelmed 1 week and you have stuff due for all your other classes, that might be a week that you skip a quiz or skip discussion posts. But what I would advise you to do is try to do all of these each week. Try to plan for doing every week so that you can save these dropped grades for when you're really in a pinch. All right, let's look at the syllabus. I'm going to go to D2L. Obviously, you're a little familiar with it at this point if you have found this video. Under weekly content each week is where I will post the weekly summary. You can see that I break down your tasks. And then communication discussions are here. Okay, so if you're new at Prairie State, welcome. Just spend some time getting to know D2L and let me know if you need help. Okay, D2L, there's lots of student tutorials to use. But I want to look at the syllabus very quickly. I'm going to wrap up this video in about 1.5 minutes. So I'm not going to read the syllabus to you, thank goodness, but I want you to read it thoroughly before you take the quiz, because the quiz will include a couple syllabus questions Saturday night. Okay, so my contact information is up here. As I mentioned earlier, I frequently check my email, and I almost always respond within 24 hours during the week. These are my virtual and on-campus office hours. You can click this link to make an appointment, or to ask, if you want to email to ask about another appointment, like you need to see me Wednesday morning or Thursday afternoon, just email me. Please read over the course syllabus. A lot of this stuff I've touched on in this video. The required texts are here. There'll be a copy of our Norton Anthology in the library if you need to sit in the library and read that copy, and a lot of stuff is available on the internet. This week's readings are posted in content. I'm skipping way down. Please, again, read over this very carefully to the schedule for the week, which will also be in D2L. Okay? Those are the highlights of what I wanted to cover with you today. Please, again, read the syllabus carefully, invest some time this first week in getting to know the class. I hope you have a very successful semester, and I'm looking forward to reading your ideas.